Howdy. Do people say howdy in Miami? Well, guess what? I'm saying it here on today's show. Mitchell Rentz from Chat Sports, and what is on today's video? We're going to look at the Week 14 preview against the Kansas City Chiefs. Then, I'm going to give you my 4 keys to victory on how Miami can take care of business against Patrick Mahomes. Then we're going to look at a deep dive into an NFL playoff picture. I'm going to tell you what happens if the Patriots win or lose on Thursday Night Football. And then the 5 games every Miami Dolphin fan needs to watch. So who do you got? It's a huge game. Miami at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Tua 4-1 as a starter. I thought played a little bit better in the second half of that Bengals game. You just got to be a little bit more aggressive on offense. But I'm just going to tell you all this right now. There's going to be a lot of Chiefs fans that come across this video, and whoever comes across it, I want you to be honest because that's what Chat Sports is all about. Who do you got? Type D for the Miami Dolphins, or I want you to type C for the Kansas City Chiefs. At 11-1, Kansas City's only loss came back in Week 5 against the Raiders, and they sit comfortably as the number 2 seed right now in the AFC, and actually, they are the only team that has clinched a playoff spot. But for Miami, they're sitting there at number 6 seed. You got a lot of other competition coming and going, and this is going to be a close one. It's going to be a really tight race. Now, I know a lot of y'all been doing a great job. We're getting close to, 7,500 subscribers on this channel. Tom Downey, Mitchell Rentz, Harrison Graham, we've all been making videos here, and we appreciate everyone who comes and watches the videos. Now, the entire week, I've said this. When you hit that subscribe button, also turn on those notifications. And last episode, I promised, hey, the first 5 people that turned on those notifications and said Noti Gang, I'm going to give you a little love here. So shout out to Derek. He was the very, very first one. I love, though, it's like 10 people type first. Derek, he was the first one. Then it was Tyler Rogers, Simply Ryans, maybe is how you pronounce that name, Expert Wear, and Golden Nuggets is pro. Appreciate to you 5, and you know what? Subscribe. Turn on your notifications. You might get a shout out on next week's episode. Let's look at the odds in this one. Kansas City, 7-point favorites against the Dolphins. However, this has been the lowest over-under game for Kansas City the entire year. That more is just saying a lot of, hype around the Dolphins defense. They're showing a lot of love, BetUS is, and they absolutely should. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the National Football League, but they have a serious test this week. Patrick Mahomes, breaking news, is no joke. Now, if you want to go bet on the Miami Dolphins to cover the spread against Kansas City, if you want to get a little bit ballsy and say, you know what, Mitch? They're going to beat Kansas City. Go to BetUS and put your money where your mouth is. How do you do that? It's simple. Chatsports.com/bet. You see the link at the very, very bottom of my screen? You got to go there, and you got to use the promo code Dolphins125. That gets you 125% deposit bonus. If this is the first time you're watching the show and you're like, you have no idea what that means, I got you covered. You deposit $100. That means you get $125 for free to bet with. If you have any questions whatsoever on how to get started with BetUS, if everything that I said was a little bit too complicated, you can always hit us up. Email us, dolphins@chatsports.com. So predict the score, y'all. Like, predicting the winner, that's easy. It's easy just to type at D for Dolphins or C for Chiefs. But now I want you to look into that crystal ball, knowing that Miami is a 7-point underdog, knowing that this one is 49.5 points is the over-under. So go down in the comments section and let me know the score. Dolphins at home against the Chiefs. It's time now to get into my keys to victory against Kansas City. If the Dolphins want to win this one, you have to, and I mean you have to get after Patrick Mahomes, because if you give him all day to throw, he's going to tear you up. Because right now you're looking at the front runner to win MVP, 31 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3,815 yards in that completion percentage. The only team that's really actually been able to rattle Patrick Mahomes' feathers have been the Las Vegas Raiders, and in fact, both of those interceptions have come up against the Raiders. And I will give the Raiders some credit here for being able to get after Mahomes in that Week 5 game. I mean, 22 of 43. That's about 53% completion percentage. If you can really get after him and make him get out of the pocket and then really lock down his outside receivers, that hurts them a lot. Now, you luckily have Xavier Howard. You have Byron Jones, who probably been the best cornerback duo in the entire league and have really helped out guys like an Emmanuel Ogbah, like that front, maybe an extra player like Kyle Van Noy. Get after him. You need to pin your ears back and get in Mahomes' face and rattle him a little bit if you want a chance to go out and win this one. And if they do, yeah, you probably would be happy that you went to BetUS and put some money on the Dolphins here. All right, let's go to this next key to victory. You just can't turn the football over. A lot of y'all might get mad at me for saying this, and that's fine if you do, but look into a mirror. You're going up against the Chiefs. They're the best team in the NFL. And when you go up against the best team in football, you need to play your absolute best. If you give Kansas City a short field, they're going to take advantage of it. Not only that, they don't turn the ball over. I mean, they are tied for first with the Tennessee Titans and fewest turnovers in football entering Week 15. And it's only 8. If they turn it over, good, you can pat yourself on the back, but you just can't afford to do it. You can't. Now, here's also the best turnover differential in 2020. I come on this show very frequently, and I say the Dolphins have done a great job this year at being in the top 5 in turnover differential. But Kansas City has been better, and if you want to beat a team that is superior than you, no turnovers, force some turnovers, win the turnover battle. Not breaking news. It's not science. It's just honestly just as simple as it comes. That's how you beat Kansas City. So we've been getting a lot of new people come across this show. Last week the goal was to get to 7,000 subs. Now we're at almost 7,500. We got people coming in from all over the United States, heck, all over the world. So shout out to you. But what we do at Chat Sports is a little bit different than a lot of other YouTube channels. We want to be interactive. I don't know about you, but if I go to a bar or if I go to a restaurant, if I go anywhere and I can sit down and talk sports with someone, dude, I'm there. I'm all about it. It's literally my family reunion since I've been a little kid. That's what we want here. And we also want to know where you're watching from. So go down in the comments. Let us know. Shout out your city. Tua needs to be great. He needs to bring his A game, A-plus game, because everybody out there, if you draft a quarterback in the top 5, you're hoping that he turns out to be great. Patrick Mahomes is great. He's the best quarterback that I've seen personally with my 2 eyeballs. I'm just going to say it now. And everyone wants Tua to be great. And he's been solid. But if you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes, you have to be excellent. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this year. That's good and all. But I'm going to point my finger at Chan Gailey here and say, if you do what you did in the first half against the Bengals, where you didn't really let Tua throw the ball down the field, you're going to struggle. But if you are aggressive and if you're okay with him taking shots down the field, that's how you have a chance to win. Here is third quarter stats. 13 of 16, 167 yards, and a touchdown. You have big play players like a Devontae Parker. You have one of the best pass-catching tight ends in all of football in Mike Gesicki. Sure, Jakeem Grant's up and down, but his speed, you have to at least test it. Because I'm telling you what, the Honey Badger, he's going to be nipping at Tua's heels, and if you can catch him on one, that's what you need to do. Take shots down the field. Go after them. My last key to victory coming up right now. And it's the defense just needs to show up. Do exactly what you've been doing the entire year. Whatever you're doing in preparation for the week, continue to do it. Don't really try to change up what you're doing just because you're playing the Chiefs. What you're doing is working. But I am excited to see this matchup, man. Why? Because it's strengths against some weaknesses. So here's the Dolphins defense, right? Strengths on strengths, my mistake. So you got the Dolphins defense, which you guys can see over here. 17.7, that's second best, right? 335.2 yards, total yards. But now let's look at the Chiefs offense and how it compares. I mean, 2 against 2. And then you got total yards. The Chiefs are going to put up points. They are going to put up yards. But what is then the one thing the Dolphins defense has done? They've been a little bit bent. I mean, you can see the numbers there, total yards, passing yards per game, rushing yards per game. But when it comes down to it, when they get into the red zone, they lock up. That's what you need to do against the Chiefs. And if you can force a few turnovers, that's even better, obviously. It's a lot like, I don't know, I'm going to make a Steph Curry reference here. There's some games, man, he got so hot, it didn't matter. It left his hands just like Michael Jordan. It was going in. If you let Patrick Mahomes get hot like that, you're going to struggle. If you just put a hand in his face and contest him, that's all you need to do. Put a hand in his face and contest him once in a while. That's when he's going to struggle a little bit. So hopefully they can do that. All right, let's look at the current AFC playoff picture now. The Steelers at 11-1, they hold the tiebreaker over Kansas City due to conference record. So the Steelers in the AFC 8-0. The Chiefs, they're 9-1. The Bills, they took care of business, played a solid game. The Titans dropped one. Shout out to the Browns. They continue to play well. But the team that y'all care about sitting there at the number 6 seed, it's the Miami Dolphins. So let's look at their remaining schedule and how this team can get into the playoffs. Week 14 against the Chiefs. That's a tough one, no doubt about it. The magic number for Miami is 3. You win 3 games, guarantee you're in. You win 2 games, and it's going to be up in the air a little bit. It's a matter of who do you beat. Because the Patriots, they're the 10 seed. You still got to beat them. The Raiders here at 7-5 on Saturday Night Football, that's another one. If you can beat the Raiders, you're probably good. If you lose to them, though, then they're going to hold the tiebreaker over you. And then Week 17 against the Bills. The Bills have a 1-game, technically 1.5-game lead over Miami right now because they already have the tiebreaker due to the win. But if Buffalo slips, you might be able to not just get into the playoffs, but win the AFC East, which I know a lot of Dolphin fans would love. So what I want to do right now is create a goal. Because I think everything you do in life, you should at least create a goal, whether it's, I don't know, maybe how much money you want to make or how many pounds you want to lose. I want to get to 500 likes on this one, okay? So if you have made it this far in the video, we appreciate you. And we want to, hopefully you guys continue to watch what we do here at Chat Sports. Like the video if Miami's going to the playoffs. Again, the goal is 500 likes. Let's look at the games to watch this week. If every Dolphin fan sits down, maybe you get your, I don't know, your wings. Barbecue, by the way, is the only correct answer. And you're like, what game should I watch, Mitch? If you're a Dolphins fan, you got to watch Thursday Night Football. You want to be rooting for the Rams. Titans at the Jags. This is a game where you should be rooting for Jacksonville. Colts at the Raiders. This is a tough one. If you think that the Dolphins are going to beat the Raiders, then you root for the Raiders in this matchup. If you're not confident, then you should probably root for the Colts. Steelers at the Bills, root for Pittsburgh because you can still win the AFC East. And then Ravens against the Browns. This is another one where it might sound weird to say, but you should actually probably root for the Browns at the 5 seed. So I don't know if you're going to be able to catch up to them where the Ravens are still sitting there at 7-5. A reminder, one more time. Hit the notification bell, turn it on. You might get a shout out next week.